Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pokemon Battle League. This is week 4. I'm Trainer Ace and I'm the coach of the Seafoam Squirtle Squad. This weekend I'll be taking on David, aka B-Movie Lover, coach of the Fuchsia City Fearows. We open up a little bit differently this week. Normally I open up with my Greninja, but this week I decided to mix it up and lead with Dragonite, hopefully throw my opponent off a little bit. And it seems to have worked. He didn't seem to expect Dragonite right from the get-go, which allowed me to get a free Dragon Dance off, which was pretty great. I was hoping to deal a lot more damage with this opening attack. I thought his Doublade would possibly even get one-hit KO by an Earthquake, but it turns out it only did a little over half. He spent his first turn with a Swords Dance, and followed up with a quick Shadow Sneak, which worked out well for him. I expected him to withdraw, but I thought anything he would follow up with would be hurt pretty badly by Earthquake. And this ended up killing him, but he did one important thing in that he broke my multi-scale ability. So anything he follows up with, I'm going to take full damage from. He brought out his Aerodactyl, and it immediately Mega Evolves. I thought I would hit it and one-hit KO it possibly with my Z electric move, but he hits me with an Ice Fang and really just takes me out right from the get-go, which was a pretty big bummer and sort of the first step in a long road to what eventually becomes a loss in this. I pull out my Blastoise and Mega Evolve it. He switches into his Tangrowth. Blastoise leads with an Ice Beam, which I thought would hit pretty hard, but he's got a very bulky Tangrowth, which shouldn't surprise anybody, least of all me. So yeah, again, it's another scenario where I was hoping for a little more damage, but it's not the end of the world. It was a solid hit, and before I got hit with the Giga Drain, I went ahead and switched out. I was expecting that. I didn't want a long battle of attrition with 3 Beards, with him Giga Draining and healing back up and me hitting him hard with super effective attacks. Cresselia is much better equipped to take special attacks and sort of just hang out on the field while Toxic does a lot of damage. Unfortunately, I missed with the first Toxic and was hit pretty hard with a knockoff, which also got rid of her main recovery in the leftovers. Let's see here. So he hits me with a couple of Giga Drains. I do successfully poison him on the second try, and it starts to stack up a little bit, which is nice. He goes ahead and withdraws his Tangrowth and sends out his Arcanine. Now Arcanine is something I was sort of worried about. It's sort of hard to deal with. It's got Intimidate, which lowers my attack, which is not the biggest deal for this particular Pokemon, but it also has a lot of flexibility in that it can be fast and hit hard, or it can be bulky. I didn't really know quite what to expect, so I decided to go ahead and pull back Cresselia and send out my Togetic, which has Eviolite. Its defenses are pretty substantial, but I still managed to take over half my health in the first hit, which was another bummer. On top of that, I also got burned, which the damage hurts. The attack loss isn't that big a deal for Togetic. I was hoping to use him as a bit of a cleric. He had Heal Bell and Wish, so I thought I'd withdraw him and save him for another day. Brought my Blastoise back out, and I did not expect a Wild Charge, though I should have. So it's just another switch on me after taking a big hit, which is sort of the theme for this whole battle, and what I expect eventually led to my loss is taking these big hits and switching out to the wrong thing. I try and poison his Arcanine, but he switches to a Manaphy, which I successfully poisoned, and that works out well for me as well. I was pretty happy with that. Manaphy's got Tail Glow and base 100 stats, so it could hit potentially pretty hard, and I don't know exactly how hard it's going to hit, so I went ahead and used my first move to heal back up to full, just to see what I was dealing with. A little bit of scouting here. He heals up a little bit with leftovers and takes some initial damage from the toxic. Then he hits me with Surf, and I'm pretty worried. I don't have a particular weakness to it, but Tail Glow is really just drives even regular special attacks all the way through the roof. Julia goes down to a second Surf attack, which is a bit of a bummer. I was expecting him to switch, but he didn't. Just another bad call on my part. I bring out Greninja, thinking that if I have to, he might be able to take a Surf, but not altogether certain of that. Because again, Tail Glow is really raised its special attack pretty high. The poison is starting to add up though, which is sort of my saving grace against this Manaphy. He runs away from my Greninja and sends out his Tangrowth again, which I hit with a pretty hard physical U-turn, which when combined with the poison takes out about 2/3 or 3/4 of his overall HP. Bring Blastoise back out. And hit him with an Ice Beam. And that's it for 3 beards. He sends his Arcanine back out. I know it's got Wild Charge, and I know I'm not able to stand up to it. But I didn't really have a better option on the bench, so I just went ahead and thought maybe I'd take it. I don't know. That chip damage from the recoil on Arcanine's attacks is really starting to stack up against him. I send Puck back out, hoping to be able to outspeed him. But he hits me with an extreme speed, which I survive and manage to take him out. That Arcanine certainly did its job though. Really wrecked my team. Out comes the Aerodactyl, and at this point I've pretty much seen the writing on the wall. I don't know exactly that there's anything I could have done to salvage this at this point, but go through the motions just the same. Togetic gets taken out by an Ice Fang. I send out my Magnezone, which I realized later I should have put Sturdy on. I, for whatever reason, left Magnet Pull as his ability this week, which was a pretty glaring mistake. It might have saved me against the Aerodactyl. The Ninja comes back out, but he doesn't have any real opportunity to move. That Aerodactyl is just blazing fast. And that was that. Takeaways this week: I made a number of missteps. I made a couple of bad switches. I made a couple of mistakes in prepping against his team. And, I don't know, I didn't really have the focus for it, I guess. I hope to do better next week. I hope to see you guys next week as well. Thanks for listening.